We head into this week's debates among the Democratic presidential candidates against an interesting backdrop of new findings on where Michigan voters stand right now. New poll commissioned by the Detroit Regional Chamber, conducted by the Glenn Gariff Group and pollster Richard Zuba, who I hasten to mention is also our pollster here at Local 4. Let's talk about what we learned with Brad Williams from the Detroit Regional Chamber. Brad, thanks very much for coming.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
A lot of things that I think are really interesting here and have relevance for these Democratic candidates this next week. Let's start with health care. Most Michiganders don't really like the idea of moving to, especially if it was only exclusive, a Medicare for all system.
Well, and I think that's an important point to make because this was a poll taken of all voters, not just Democratic voters. So we're going to have the Democratic candidates in here on Tuesday and Wednesday, and they're going to be talking about their plans for health care. And they're trying to appeal, obviously, to Democratic voters first, but I'm hopeful that they'll have an eye towards what's going to happen next November and start thinking about what a wider pool of the electorate is going to desire, because you're not going to win the presidency unless you win Michigan.
We would certainly expect so. Another thing that was an interesting finding, though, to me, the divide between men and women. When asked whether the country is on the right track, overwhelmingly men say yes, overwhelmingly women say no.
Yeah, and I think you see that across some of the questions. There is a gender divide, and this is really, I think, an extension of what we saw in 2018, where women broke hard towards the Democrats in the midterm elections, whereas men have pretty much stayed kind of where they're at. So there definitely is a different perspective between men and women. You know, on different sides of the beds, there could be completely different opinions of the issues of the day.
Yeah. One of the areas where we expect is feeding the fact that the president is not doing particularly well in Michigan right now has a lot to do with the tariffs. Michiganders right now believe the tariffs are bad for the auto industry, bad for farmers, and bad for all of us as consumers.
Yeah, and that's welcome news for us. You know, we've long been proponents of free and fair trade.
At the Chamber,
At the Chamber, yes. And I'm looking forward to working on USMCA and getting that passed. But it seems like there is generally a consensus amongst Michigan voters that free trade is a preferable alternative to what we're seeing, which I think, if you probably look at the history of Michigan, is quite a shift as well. Michigan hasn't always been known as the kind of state where free traders are dominant.
Right. Another area that really seems to be going against where the White House has been right now, Michiganders are very concerned about climate change and its effect on the state and the Great Lakes.
Yeah, I think there is, this summer in particular has highlighted what rising water levels mean. If a lot of the folks watching today have probably spent some time up north and on the lake this summer, and you can see it. I mean, beaches that used to stretch on for 10, 15 yards are now, you know, the water's right up to the grass level. Boats that you used to have to get a step to get up to the dock, now are much higher than the dock. So I think it's not a coincidence that we've seen the summer that we've seen and the strong feelings on climate change.
Lastly, I think you found it really interesting, the divide between those who describe themselves as Fox News viewers, as opposed to that was really the only set aside. But you see
and I encourage people to go and look at the full data here. If you go to the Chamber website, DetroitChamber.com/policy poll, you can see all the data, every question we ask, because it's extensive. But if you, on question after question, there was such a divergence between those who use Fox News as their primary news source to any other news source. I mean, local news, newspaper, radio. There's divergence even between strong Republicans who are Fox News viewers and strong Republicans who get their news from other sources. It really is interesting. I don't think surprising to a lot of people who follow this stuff regularly.
Especially with immigration, you were saying earlier.
Yeah, well, I mean, immigration, we asked an open-ended question. What's the #1 issue facing the country? And it was 18% immigration. That was the top one. But if you ask Fox News viewers, that was 43% of Fox News viewers said immigration and border security was the #1 issue. Things like family separation, Fox News viewers are in a completely different place than the rest of the voters in Michigan.
Overall, I think that if you take all this data together, it does spell out a tall hill to climb for the president right now in Michigan.
Well, I think one of the key takeaways, though, is that there is consensus on many of these issues in Michigan. Healthcare might be the exception to the rule, but by and large, Michiganders have a pretty good consensus on a lot of the issues of the day.
Not a lot of 50-50 to this.
No, you know, and we all know this. Politics isn't like Twitter. It's not like cable news. It's a lot more like your family reunion, where you may have some differences on the edges, but on the most basic issues, you come together.
Fascinating week ahead, and this all informs where a lot of us are headed. So, Brett, thanks very much for the time.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here. We will, of course, be watching a very big week in Detroit. The debate's coming up Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll have them covered for you here on Local 4. Meet the Press is next. Have a great week. We'll see you next time for Flashpoint.